Good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to QuickBooks Labs, our number one UK QuickBooks podcast, because we're the only QuickBooks podcast there is out there. So we get that title just by turning up each and every month for you. We bring you some fresh insights, some juicy tips, and clever shortcuts to help you ensure you master that QuickBooks Online like a pro. I'm your host, I'm Patrick, aka the QuickBooks Chap on UK. On YouTube, should I say. And if you've never watched this episode before, we're all about making sure that you have all of that insight into the juicy world of QuickBooks. We've got some very topical news to go through, and I would only be able to bring this news to you if it was for my wonderful panel of experts. Well, I say panel, there's a I have a co-host today. Hashtag Audit Amy is here. Amy, tell the world who you are and why you're here.
So hi everyone, I'm Amy Hancock, aka hashtag Audit Amy, because I love audit so much. I am also a massive fan of QuickBooks, and I love audit, love accounts, love compliance. I'm that person.
I love MTD, right?
Yeah, MTD for another day.
She says through her teeth. Yes. Yes, I do. So we've got an absolute cracker lined up to you today. We've got some really juicy topics, actually. Finally, Sole Trader gets that big update we wanted for, so we're going to cover that one. We've got some advanced pricing controversy to talk you through. We may even have a bit of an insight what the agents are going to cost us later down the line. We've got more payment options in the US that's very, very confusing, and then a sprinkle at the end of some small updates just to keep you on your toes of all the new things that have happened in the world of QuickBooks. And I forgot from that list as well, don't let me forget, what we're calling it, referral update.
Yes, that is an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. As always, we are not here alone. We're here with our wonderful community. And if you've got a question to ask, stick that question right in the question box, just like Kirsty has here and said hello, everyone. So, hello, Kirsty. Hope you are doing well. And if you have any questions, keep us honest. If we say something wrong, if we do something you don't agree, if you've got an opinion on it, let us know in the comments and we'll bring it through. Don't forget as well, you can watch us live like it is recorded whenever. Just look at the socials to see when it goes live, and if not, make sure that you follow us on your your podcast solution of choice. So we're there and we go live first Wednesday of every month. So subscribe and get your podcast for your monthly dose of QuickBooks directly into your feed. Right, let's not dibble dabble around today, especially with this first bit of news that's come through with QuickBooks Sole Trader getting itself its little update that we've all wished for. So what was the top of your wish list for QuickBooks Sole Trader, out of curiosity, Amy?
So for me, I thought Sole Trader would be a great solution for a lot of I work a lot in the construction industry, subcontractors, they don't want to get involved. So I wanted rules brought in, and there's a rules tab.
There is. It doesn't get much more exciting than this, does it? Okay, so hopefully you can see this in front of me. QuickBooks is here. In fact, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so people can actually see it better. QuickBooks Sole Trader is here now. I am in as the accountant, but I have checked the client gets this view as well, so we're happy to see that. But under the transactions view, not only do you get your bank transactions as always, you get your receipts, you get reconcile, you get chart of accounts as accountants. Remember, these two are only there as accountants. But we now get the rules option as well. Now, me and Amy had a little play with this behind the scenes before we came here. So we think we've got to grips with how it works, but this might be something that that will evolve over time. But the way it seems to work is the only way to introduce a new rule currently is by using the new rule button in the top right hand corner. which is a little bit different to how we're kind of used to rules previously, aren't we, Amy? Because normally we get options with the bank transactions and things like that. But hopefully that's something that will come through at a later date. But currently, though, when we press the new button and we get the new rule option, we get to put a description. Now, description is what the bank description is going to be. We don't get to choose between bank description, bank text like we did in the full version of QuickBooks. But I think the description will be absolutely fine. It's unfortunate that it doesn't say any other option there. So it's not includes the word blah, blah, blah. Or, what some of the other options we have, isn't it? Is like, and then we could put maybe the amount in and stuff like that. It seems like unless this description is exactly the same each time, I don't think it's going to activate. But again, that could be feedback that we can pass back and hopefully have some options from there. But at the moment, if that description does match, then you get to say what it's going to happen, and you can either rename it. So maybe it's a case that it's coming through as a particular item and for reporting purposes, or just to make things easier, you want to rename it as something else. Like Arden, for example, as income, maybe just want to rename that to eBay income, something like that, just so we've got it nice and consistent and keeps it easier. Then you get to choose if it's business, transaction, or personal, and then you get to choose what category it goes to. Now, from what we can tell, it doesn't seem to be going historical, does it, Amy?
No, so we've done it, we've tested it a few on some active clients, and it doesn't seem to go back to the bank transactions and change what's already there. I thought it might if it hadn't been reviewed, and then I wouldn't expect it to do it if it's been reviewed, because obviously reviewed, you want it to be locked down at that point. But it doesn't seem to be going back and changing the historical. Whether there is a missing button that you could just press to go back anything that's unreviewed, that's what it needs basically to go back and do that, or an option within the transactions list to apply the rule.
Yeah, and I think on the full version of QuickBooks, so QuickBooks Simple Start and above, I think the expectations kind of made that that's how it's going to work, because we have the for review tab and the review tab and excluded tab, right? And I know there's been some not complaints, but there's been some confusion in the past of, well, I've created this rule, but it's only updated the ones going forward. It hasn't gone back historically and updated them. But again, because it's in a different tab, I don't know if I'm over thinking it, but for me, that always felt like, well, my expectation that was never going to get updated, right? They were there. They were, if you put them as bank fees, they're going to be continued to bank fees, whatever it's going to be. So in this one, I've got free plan fee at the moment for £10, and for whatever reason, QuickBooks has put this to travel expenses, but I've put a nice little rule in place that next time free plan fee comes along, that it's going to put it to bank charges as we expect. I think just as a TDLR of how to deal with this going forward, my advice, find the transactions, tick the little box, and then directly from there, we can change it to bank charges from there. And it does do it relatively quickly, right? Relatively easy and easy one. As Amy pointed out as well, make sure you get rid of the last 12-month one just in case. But then that's an easy way of you be able to kind of read it. So rules are there. We're really happy rules are there. This is fantastic news. I just feel like this is a minimum viable product to keep us happy, but we do need a little bit more here to really get the most out of it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's like a little teaser, but it just doesn't do it yet. It's gone, I'm coming, I'm going to come and help, but I'm not quite ready yet. So, I wondered if it's, because it's got the created button, the created date on the left. I wondered if that means it will do it from that date going forwards. And that's why that created is standing out at the start. And obviously, your dates before 14th
of July, if this is going to work. So.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait. Next episode, we'll see.
Yeah. Confused, or not confused, but just interesting to see that there is a 1 out of 30 rules. We assume that once you get to 30, that's it. You can't do any more rules.
I mean, is it going to be a case of if you want more rules, pay more? I don't know what the intention with the restriction
start,
is.
Isn't it, where it's unlimited rules, right? Or is, dare I say, is this a new thing they're going to bring in that you have only so many rules going forward. I hope not. I hope that's not a new restriction, but that's there. But when it's currently like this, where because it could be a case that, you know, free planned fee may easily say March on it or April on it or something like that. So I would have to take 12 of the rules just to cover bank charges in this case, right?
You put the year in and then you've got, there's just no point. So I think we need a bit more explanation what that description, does it have to be exactly the same? Does it have to have the right capitals? Like, does it have to,
or
we
have
need
the
the
option?
detail. Yeah, we need the detail.
We need the option, right? And is it just description we'll be looking at? Don't we also want to be looking at the amounts as well? Because that's normally critical to what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, especially that greater than and lower than can be really powerful for a sole trader, right? Like if it's lower than this, then it always goes to subsistence, for example. But if it's higher than this, then we want it on an account that we're going to be checking or whatever the thing's going to be. Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
where it become really powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be powerful for all the people that are still doing boxes of receipts, because there are so many. I know they shouldn't be at that point, but there are, and they are being told that they have to have this solution reluctantly. So whatever's going to make their life easier, they're going to, like, these rules will, because I can go in and help them at the start of the year, set them all up to 30. Yeah. I hope that gets removed. And then it's done for the year. Or we're going to end up with a situation where people will do it, say they're going to do it for MTD, end of the quarter, and we're going to have to do hundreds. So we need it for us as well. So good start, needs a bit of development.
It does. If we're doing a wish list, though, I still think the best implementation rule is when you're in the transaction, right? Like, create a rule based on this or something along those lines that we have in ours. Like, that's so powerful, isn't it? That really drives adoption and gets people using it, because at the moment it's just an extra tab there. Whereas if I go in here and I look at the client, in fairness, they'll only see 3 tabs up there, so hopefully it's a little bit more inviting to them. They've only ever seen 2 before. Now there's a 3rd one. Hopefully curiosity gets them and they start playing around with that. But I do think having adoption, I've put it there, would be the best way. But no, we're really happy it's here, right? Like, this was one of those absolute must-have parts in there. I just feel like there's a little bit of options there. And, you know, again, if I'm asking for updates, where's my import button gone? I love my import button. Importing those rules, you know, when you've got the same client, like same industry, and you're looking after the same type of clients, your CIS ones, for example, if you could, so powerful, isn't it? An import button. So
yeah, definitely. Please, QuickBooks, can we have an import button?
I think that's all we found on QuickBooks Sole Trader, but there was an interesting update on the full version of QuickBooks, which one of those where I didn't even know was coming, because from what I could tell, no one had asked for it. So we're not going to complain when a new update appears, but no one had really asked for it. And it was something where we were a little bit confused when it was there, weren't we, Amy? Do you want to kind of explain what this one was?
So this is a new tab on the dashboard, or 2 tabs on the dashboard that have just popped up, not on all clients, on a couple of clients, about referrals and WordPress. Yes.
What's the difference between the 2?
I don't actually know. Looking at it from a accounting practice perspective, great. I can now, I mean, at the moment, I do someone's tax return, I do someone's accounts. My admin sends out an email going, can I have a Google review afterwards? Let's bump them up. If we can do this automatically when the invoice goes out, great. But it's not something I've ever thought about QuickBooks doing necessarily. Maybe that's because we're going down more of an integration with MailChimp.
Well, that was what I was going to say. Isn't this a MailChimp, like, that's what they're really known for, right? It's this sort of scenario where they can drive that interaction, drive that engagement, all that sort of stuff. Are we not almost stepping on their toes a little bit, having it in QuickBooks without the I completely understand this if this was you've attached MailChimp to this client. So here's some extra features that are driven by MailChimp to make it even better, right? Great, that, and I can see the value in that massively, because you've asked for MailChimp to be integrated. You're expecting these extra features, right? I'm not complaining about having this feature. This feature looks great. I'm just confused why now. I'm confused as to what the reason is for now.
I mean, maybe it's driven from MailChimp. Maybe it's part of that, and QuickBooks one. Here's this freebie. This is just a little snippet of what you could have if you had MailChimp, or it could be completely independent, irrespective. It's here. You can turn it on by your settings. I haven't actually trialed it with a customer, but I will be, because that's just going to work perfectly. I'm just thinking Google reviews for me.
Yeah.
Start with, but for our clients, actually, they could all do it with their sales invoices when they're issued, get these automatic things. So yeah, we're happy to have a freebie. We'll just have to see how it works.
So far, the way it seems to be working is, you say, learn more about the survey. It gives you a bit of a teaser of what it's going to look like. Your company name, we'll love your feedback. Just refer someone who needs company name services, first name, last name, blah, blah, blah. And you have then some area to play around with those referrals, and they will come through from there. Referral, connect with new customers by allowing the customer to recommend anyone who might be interested, give you 4 or 5 stars, be asked to provide a referral. And then basically you receive the referral's contact information to quickly reach out to them. If you press the enable survey button, it does come up with an error message, but I think that's just a bit of a teething issue, because what you'll find under basically settings, sales, and then down here is this post invoice feedback survey area. So we get to collect valuable feedback from your customers, ask for a work request. Is work request quite an American term, do you think? 'Cause I don't think I've come across it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that's going to work here. Ask your customers to indicate whether they would like to work with you again.
So it's, would you like to work with a company? Yes, in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then you can bring it through from there.
I mean, I think most of us will have consistent clients that we're doing regular bookkeeping for throughout. If it's a one-off service that you're doing for them, a bit of tax advice or whatnot, you could use it. I don't think personally I'd use it.
Cleaner or something that you just have on a semi-regular basis, and you go, oh, actually, let's use you again in 12 months. There must be a use case out there we're not really getting, but ask for a review. This is the bit that you were excited about, right? Basically, your company would like your feedback, build stronger customer. My question is, where do these reviews go?
Does it go into your Pro Advisor?
Oh, now that would be cool.
Because I actually do get quite a bit of work from that in the Pro Advisor listing, and I struggle with, do I want a Google review or do I want a QuickBooks review? Which one do I want more? So I switch between them. But if this fed directly into your Pro Advisor, but then if you've got 1 or 2, don't you want it on there?
Well, let's turn that one on and see, because I am confused about where that would go, because it needs to go somewhere, right, to have any meaningful, if you're collecting testimonials and reviews. And then ask for a referral. If they give you basically 4 or 5 or more, you can ask for it there, and then it can prompt who you'd like to recommend. And then there's a managed survey frequency. Limit the frequency of the survey to once every 90 days after a customer submits a survey. Changes to the survey question will not be affected. All right, cool. Do 30, 365 days again there, because I would have thought for our clients, probably you want to be between 180 and 365. Otherwise they're just going to get annoyed, aren't they? All right, let's save that. If I was to send an invoice out, let's just quickly go and do an invoice to myself. Let's just do it to a customer. The QuickBooks chap.
It would be quite powerful, actually, that we go to the Pro Advisor. So hopefully it does, because they do ask for testimonials and the stars, but it's the feedback element, I suppose, where we don't want that to be visible publicly.
Exactly.
Really.
And I am, yeah. Oh, no, no one. So in theory, I have just sent my. Let me just see if that invoice, if that's come through on my emails. Let's see if we can see it all together. No, it hasn't. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, not come through.
No, that is a shame. Do it one more time just to be safe.
They didn't mention anything about a delay.
Oh no, it's come through now. There it is. All right, so put it over there. This is the email that's come through, my normal email. Then I press review and pay. View the invoice. Am I missing something?
No, it's not. Maybe there's a delay.
Maybe. I was expecting on this screen. I thought that this would be where it would be. Okay. And again, there's nothing else on this invoice to suggest a survey or anything, is there? That I can see.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we tried. We tried to do it live. It didn't quite work out. But I think the idea of it, I mean, does this now update to say that we've sent a survey out? Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Opportunities for new businesses for your existing referral by customer, managed survey setting. Is there any way of seeing the data? No, it's just there. So for what I would expect or see then is that you manage it from the dashboard. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, we kind of want to go in and go and see who's left it, what they've said, have they, or even have they responded.
And if I were to go to that customer, do I get any information there about it?
Yeah, I was thinking that notes. Would it be in notes?
No, it's not there, is it, unfortunately? All right, okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out. If it comes during the show, I will shout up. Maybe you get a second email later down the line. Maybe it sends another email to go, here, look at this.
Another thing for next month.
Yeah. I mean, again, seems like a really cool update. Like that's something we weren't expecting. Just doesn't seem to be any guidance. But if anyone out there has used it and can let us know, that would be great. Right. Okay. Let's go for stuff that we definitely can talk about because we've got more details around it. An odd one, this one. So if you go to the sales page at this point in time for QuickBooks, and I'll share my screen in 2 seconds. I'm just making sure there's nothing thing on there. But if I go to my sales screen, does something jump out to you at all, Amy? Wait.
I'm being put on the spot here.
Share screen, entire window, and that one. Right. This screen in front of you here, does it show you anything a little bit new, strange? Not what we used to.
Price missing somewhere. Yes, advanced. We don't appear to have any prices for advanced anymore. I think it was formerly £115
Yeah.
for a discount, and then a discount applied like the others. But yeah, for some reason, there is no pricing.
So is that they don't want people to know the pricing, or do you think it could be that there's different prices out there?
I've got a feeling there's different prices out there, but we've not been made aware of any different pricing at present. I have requested the request pricing, so hopefully someone will come back to me.
Maybe get a call live on air.
Maybe we can bring them on. I haven't been notified of any price changes to any advanced customers at the moment. They haven't, so I just wonder whether, I mean, you never know, the price might be coming down.
Maybe. maybe. I mean,
in today's climate, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
There must be some form of tiers that's coming for various different things. Maybe they'll give us more tags. I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Like they used to be so transparent about the fees. They were so simple. You know, the only thing we as accountants were frustrated is a strong word, but we were being a little bit, thing about the fact that there were always these discounts, right? So as we're trying to onboard a client nice and cleanly, the easiest thing to us to do is add it onto our price plan and off to the races, right? But now it's most times it's not fair on the client to do that, and there's this whole rigmarole of what I would suggest you do is you go and buy it and then invite us, then we can start setting it up for you. Whereas before it was very much a case of, well, here's the new QuickBooks license. It's the same price if you bought it from us or them. So you might as well just through us, but we'll set it up for you. We'll get it all shiny and everything. And we'll basically hand it over to you when we think it's ready. And the amount of times at the moment where I'm kind of like, client A, any chance you can give us access to it? Because we've still not got access. And, and I've got this one particular client who, bless her, every time I ask her, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not quite ready yet. I just want to spruce it up a little bit before I let you in. And I'm like, that's my job. That's all I'm here to do, right? And she's like, I've not added all the transactions yet, and I haven't put all the photos on like I said I was going to do. And it almost feels like she's going to get judged or something, right? So
I completely sympathise. I had a client today going, no, I know I haven't done my bookkeeping, and he had like 10 transactions. I was like, don't worry, I've done the bank for you. But yeah, clients are going off, getting their own licenses for 6 months, and then saying, right, I'm ready for you to take it. I'm like, okay, you need to invite me as a user instead of invite me as an accountant, and then we're going through that rigmarole. But I just wondered, you see, obviously the color of advanced has changed, and obviously at the top you've got the 4 up to 25 users, and that's kind of stands out for me. I wonder if there's going to be with advanced a kind of model advanced plus for more than 25 users
per user.
I think speculation. I suspect there's going to be more tiers, different pricing models going on here. I just maybe would have kept it as it was, because now we're speculating about it. We have no idea.
Because if it was like, I don't know, making numbers up here, but it was a baseline of £60 per month, but then per additional users £10 or something, whatever that's going to be, right? Like, you could really get on board with something like that, right? Because that's really scalable with the client, and the jump from plus to advanced is nowhere near as much. But if anything, now that puts us in a little bit of an awkward place as the accountant. So what do we charge for advanced now? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's our fee? Because we're going to get charged whatever we're going to get charged for it. And now, before it was always really transparent with the client. Well, we're going to be charging you 47, maybe with a discount if you want to, but our base line is 47, right? Because that's what it is. And we can offer a discount. We can't. And 33, 16, and 10. Now it's, let's talk. Let's talk to. Who are we talking to? So, yeah, it's a strange one. Very strange, that.
I'm just wondering if we were to create a license ourselves for our own QuickBooks Accountant, QBOA, what we get.
We still get the old pricing. So I've checked that one.
Oh, you checked that one?
Yeah. So it's still the old pricing on that one. And I don't think this is a negative or a positive, this change. I feel like it's a bit of a neutral one, right? Because on one hand, we get it. You don't want to make your software like overly like you don't want to like one of your contractors something come up here and seeing how much, you know what I mean? Like, and they go, well, I can't possibly go with QuickBooks because they might feel like they need that one, right? Like they need this one, sort of thing. I can kind of see that's one of the reasons why they don't want to put that price back onto it. But on the flip side, it just makes our job as the accountant even more complicated now as to, what do we charge our advanced one at? So very interesting.
It gives bespokeness, because whenever I go and look at something and then it's like contact us to request a price, I'm always like, oh, that's going to be a lot of money. And your mind defaults to that.
Unfortunately, it does,
But
doesn't it?
let's hope it's different tiers and can be more attractive. Because I think we said last month, Advance is a good product. They just need to market it, the advantages to it, rather than the whole thing we've gone through of you have to go to Advance and you have to pay this. So let's wait and see. I hope it's a tier approach that's being done. Excited to see what's going on.
Yeah, let's hope we do get some news on it. Speaking of fees and income and everything else, though, this one's an odd one. So this is only US at the moment. It may never come here, so we may never have to worry about this. But in their recent update, so this is their June update, they talk about more of your QuickBooks clients can manage inventory. So in a nutshell, clients who use the QuickBooks Online Simple Start and Essentials now have the option to manage their inventory in QuickBooks. And effectively what it is there's a £40 upgrade fee per month for Simple Start and Essentials to now get the inventory side on it as well. Which, in my mind, I think the US has a whole different price point, right? So maybe it's a case, because in my mind, £40 on top would be more than plus, right? In the UK,
it's challenging to sell that.
Yeah. And I believe in the US that they have bigger jumps, so maybe it's that makes it more attractive. Maybe there is a discount there, especially I would imagine from Simple Start to add on the inventory. But it's an interesting pricing model because they've never done this before. They've never put an add-on to your fees before. Is that something you want to see more of, or do you want it to be less complicated? Because the advantage of this is hopefully it's more competitive pricing. We're all for that, pro-consumer. The disadvantage of this is it could get really complicated pricing then. Like, clients are going to be less incentivized to or understanding what they do and don't need, right?
Yeah, I think if I compare it to CIS, go back to what I know, there are other providers that you have to pay for CIS as an add-on. And I find that our clients that are doing the CIS returns themselves will still use the HMRC website to do that because they don't want to pay for it. So if you're taking something away, if they've already got it and you're taking it away and then saying pay for it, then they're not going to do it. If they've never had anything for inventory, I'm not quite sure in the US, have they? They already had like an inventory?
Yeah, and from what I can tell, this is exactly the same product we already have, right? This is exactly the same as what's in Plus and Advanced now. It's just
I have a lot of clients that don't use it. So if that would be applied and they would say, oh, instead you can take it away and it will drop your price, winning.
Can you see this?
A big enough jump for me to go.
So Simple Start with £40 on top, that does come in to cheaper than Plus. So there is a thing there, isn't there? Essentials though is £4, and then you don't get the rest of the Plus bit.
Yeah, if it's exactly the same, I don't understand why now they're charging for it.
You miss out on project profitability, financial planning.
Now it's different if it would be projects. I'd say it would be different if they started charging the projects, because I have clients that are on Plus just for the projects function. Yeah. And then if they could downgrade and have projects on its own and it comes in less, it would be worth it because they're not using any other features in Plus. I don't understand the move if they've not changed inventory at all and it's still exactly the same product.
I know there's an updated inventory coming out for Plus in the US where you can effectively manage stock orders. So you can say if it's fulfilled, not fulfilled and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So maybe this, in fairness, maybe this is that advanced one that we don't have in the UK yet.
Yeah.
So that could add some value to it, right? And that could be really useful. You're basically a stock management tool. But I'd imagine though, from Essentials to Plus, you might as well pay the extra $5 or $4 a month, right? and get projects and get financial. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the extra 2 users, like that's where I would see it. So, you know, I mean, if they brought it to the UK, great, but I think they could be really competitive on that pricing, haven't they, for that to hit.
Definitely. I mean, I know we're on a cheaper price point than the US anyway, from what you've just shown. So yeah, they'd have to look at the pricing then. And if it's going to come in and do all the fulfillment, people would be willing to pay if they've got the stock on the Simple Start and on the Essentials, as long as it comes in less than the Plus.
And then just quickly back to what we were just saying. If I go back to that page, how come in the US they don't have a talk to us button? Oh, it won't let me show you now. Go back to that. There it is. Where's there no talk to us button on the US when it's significantly more than ours? Yeah, they have a much more advanced product than we do, right? So there is a lot more functionality in there. Still,
that's interesting.
If you can, you know, you'd expect the talk to us to be more masking that figure, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Be interesting.
Very interesting.
Hopefully we'll hear back soon on my request.
Hopefully. But yeah, a potential then for add-on services coming. And you know, this could be, you said there about CIS. There's no reason why if they don't bring an advanced CIS feature out, that there would be like a CIS Plus module or something, right? And that, I can definitely see stuff like that coming forward. And I'm not against add-ons. I just feel like we need to get the price point right to make them work, don't we? I think that's the...
Exactly. I think it actually gives more... People like menus. They're like, I know my clients definitely like me to break down everything that I'm doing for them, and they can pick and choose, because prices are going up everywhere. So at least if the consumer feels like they're getting the control over what they're paying, so they're picking, rather than you have to have all of this even though you don't use half of it. I can see how it could be confusing, but let's face it, us as accountants and bookkeepers will be the ones that are controlling it and telling them what they need.
Yeah, and if we're paying for their fee, we're also going to be the ones having to manage this, right? I can't imagine a world where they just let the client just turn it on themselves. So that's going to be
turn it off. Could you imagine?
But you think about it, like a control of, our clients requested this, so then we're going to have to turn it on, and then we're going to have to update their invoicing to reflect that they've now got this new feature on. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's something we're just going to have to contend with if it comes over to UK, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
There's an extra workflow involved just to even comprehend this. But if it's pro-consumer, I'm up for it. They've just got to get that price point worthwhile. Otherwise, everyone's putting all this extra effort in for $4. That to me doesn't feel right. But yeah,
no.
All right. And finally, on prices, then there is so I'm on the US Firm of the Future site here, and it's all about giving some updates of their new if I can say it right, agentic AI. Got it there in the end. Highly recommend watching this video for people who haven't. Really insightful into kind of like what the future is going to be. So your expertise together with power AI and efficiency. And they're basically bringing in this concept that this is more than just Intuit Assist. This is the idea of having your new digital agents working overtime for you. And I've seen before they've kind of referred to hire an agent, like that's the terminology they want us to kind of buy into, right, and bring in from there. So really on board with it. This is going to be absolutely epic. Can't wait to kind of start playing around with it, giving some insights of what type of agents we can look to get. Accounting agent keeps books clean and accurate by automatically categorizing your transaction, detecting and resolving anomalies, and reconciling accounts, flagging what needs approval attention. Yes, please. That sounds amazing. A payment agent. So different from your accounting agent, your payment agent helps facilitate faster payments and bills and paid on time and monitoring cash flow. So looking at optimal times to make a payment to a supplier, things like that, right? And stuff like that. Absolutely brilliant. Finance agent analyze financial data, so it gives you that rich insight to understand what your numbers are saying and stuff like that. Loving it. Customer agent, your clients can source leads from their inbox, draft personal email responses, and track every customer opportunity in the sales cycle. Sounds futuristic, right? Sounds like that's too good to be true almost, but I'm sure it's going to come out really well. So those agents are there, and I'll be completely honest with you, before I scroll down and kind of show you what they're, my initial point was, well, they've just started to think about charging for inventory as an add-on. So what are these add-on costs going to be? But as we scroll down, I don't know if this is like finalization pointers or not, but they say here, all in one, get it done. Ample proficiency with AI agents with an optional access to trusted experts. So that's not the agents, that's your live ones. And they're saying that basically in Simple Start, you don't get any agent, but in Essentials, you get accounting agent and payment agent. In Customer Favorite Plus, you get your customer agent added to that, and your accounts agent and everything else we've just talked about. And in Advance, you get a project management agent as well. We don't know what that means yet or what that could do, but they're bringing it in there. Now, maybe I've misread this, but to me, that suggests that those plans now include those agents, right?
Ooh.
Which makes your £40 upgrade from Simple Start Essentials to Plus. Never pay that £40 upgrade. Just pay for Plus because you're getting customer agent.
More. I mean, if it's included, that's massive. That is massive. I mean, I just love the idea of all of them. For me personally, let alone my clients.
Your own practice, right?
I mean, I'd like to say I'm using a lot of AI, but when these coming in, I don't have a bot myself. I know a few accountants and bookkeepers that have bots, but I don't have one. And these are effectively going to be my bots. They're going to be the people that are going in. I think, look, see, I'm thinking of them as people already.
Yeah, you're hiring them. It's when you've got a that's going to be the problem, right? You got to sit down with your HR representative and be like, did you hit your quarterly results this month? You only categorized 90% of the transactions. I said 95.
It will apologise probably and do better next time.
I have to let you go.
I'm quite surprised that we get them all included. I
can't. Maybe I'm reading into this too much, but this is publicly available. This is on the US website, right? If that's not what that image is supposed to be representing, then I'm hands up, got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to say, right? I don't see how I could represent it any other way. And Kirsty says, yep, I was hoping for those AI agents will be included. Hurrah! Yeah, I'm flabbergasted by it. Dave's here as well. Good morning, Dave. And quick screenshot it. Well, we're live to the what do you call it? So everyone smile. We'll put you in there as well, Kirsty. But yeah, wow, that's really positive news, though, isn't it?
Those clients that are using projects that are on Plus, that and to then have a project management agent again.
I know.
We're not sure.
I don't know if it tells.
I do find clients
anyway
that are wanting that step more from projects, and they're holding off moving to advanced. But if they've got an age, I mean, yeah, my mind's going to great places in what these agents can do for me now.
I know, right? This looks like this customer agent thing kind of shows a little bit here what it's going to be doing. So if it goes through its little thing, customer leads, is it going to go through your Gmail? I know there was a question, is it just Gmail, but by the looks of it, it's just Gmail at the moment. But then it's kind of bringing that information in for you that you can then go through, and it'll draft your email, and then it'll go through there. So from a lead generation point of view, that could be really powerful, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it says here,
detail.
It does say here for new businesses featuring, and then it's so there was no agent right on that one, just smart expense on Simple Start customer. So yeah, it's reinforcing that, right? Smart invoicing and everything else. But then when you go to our online essentials and plus, we've got an accounting agent, we've got a payments agent, we've got the customer hub. When we go to plus, it's saying it again, right? Accounting agent. Is it giving you, it seems like it's giving you maybe more power as well as accounting agent. So as essentials, it automates categorization, expense tracking, account collaboration, keep books organized real time. But then in plus, anomaly detection. Okay. Is that reconciliation?
next level of event, essentially.
It is, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
giving it AI powered reconciliation and anomaly detection and a plus. That automatically is like, well, plus is now by far the best one to use, right? Then you get customer agent, customer hub with e-signatures.
Ooh. Is that's going to be linked to accounts, tax returns, MTD?
No, I think that's to do with your invoices and your estimates, right? But you could use that feature from there.
So I've given an idea now. It's fine.
And then here, finance, project, and accounting works together to track project profitability. So that's where this whole project management is going to be very much project based. Customer reports we know about, spreadsheets, and everything else. Yeah, I mean, wow. And is that the new project management agent showing here? Look. You drop the project and then it creates the project from the contract. And imagine it automatically goes and find the transactions.
It's possible. You see what all the ChatGPT and Copilot's doing now in picking out all the information, reading the pen and paper of someone on site. Again, I hope that's construction. Sorry, people. That's just why my mind goes. Thinking someone's on site doing a quote, putting it in, but also getting a PDF of a contract, putting it in so you can pick out all the information. Yeah.
I mean, even as an accountant, we could stick our engagement letters in here and it could, if you got like someone like you've got like meatier ones like audits and stuff, right? You get that engagement letter, put it in the project area, suddenly it hopefully or at least give you an opportunity to create that template for you so you can start thinking about, have I made the profit I want to on this job? Have I overrun whatever it's going to be, right? And I'm a big believer, if you can use it in your practice, then that's when you're the best person ever to go do that business advisory bit of telling your clients how to use it. And this is why it's going to be so good and all this, that, the other. That's huge. I've never really thought of the project management side of things, but now I get it, right? Like now I understand that is a huge aspect, and definitely it's in advance and definitely it's worth it. And yeah, that's great.
Actually looking at QuickBooks Time more for our time logs and bringing that in. Yeah, whole new audit side. Because there's the massive auditors out there listening to me right now. Think about it for your audits, people.
Get that sorted. Right. Just final bit before we have to close up today. There was a few just very small updates that have started to appear, and just really to let you guys know about it. The first one is, let me bring the screen back up now, is about the fact that we have a bit of a unification, if you like, and this is what we were promised with the new reporting background, right? And the new reporting, modern reporting coming through. And they have got really close now of getting all of them on modern reporting now. So if you haven't already, get to grips with them, have a play around with them. And so far, I haven't found any features that haven't gone over. I did a whole video, I want to say about a year and a half ago, of missing features between modern and the old reports. At the moment, I don't think there is any, but do let us know if you do see anyone. Like, we can feed that back and everything else. But that's it. And the promise of this new reporting infrastructure and this new reporting was that there was going to be unification. So at the moment, the problem we've got with QuickBooks is when you look in different areas, they've kind of got this different reporting process and reporting engine, and that's why sometimes it went really slow. And then when we'd want features and everything else, they'd have to update it in different places, and it was a whole mess, right? So this whole modern reporting is so everything comes in. And what I completely forgot was, well, of course that means that things like your reclassification of transactions, well, that's going to be running on that same reporting as well. And that's exactly what's happened here. So, well, rubbish. This isn't the new one. Oh, right. So this one here, as I made earlier, you get a new version of what it looks like, right? And the idea is it's going to be much more modern, and it's going to give you the opportunity. Just be aware though, if I just bring this over here, just be aware that it seems like, and maybe I'm just kind of just not giving them enough time. It seems like there's a few kind of errors and stuff that we've got to kind of contend with at the moment, or not quite working as intended. So for example, in the new way of doing it, if you're trying to sort by date, well, it gets confused, is it US or UK? So put it as US dates sorted, but they're UK dates that are there. So on this case, it's got very, very confused, and it doesn't quite understand. So instead of having all my dates nicely in date order, it's kind of put them into the wrong place and things like that. But we do get more options. So now at the moment, if I go to the table here, it's got these nice little buttons that go down here. Now we get to have these sort by, we get compact, we get alternate row colors, we get all of that goodness that the new modern reporting is bringing, and it's coming directly to what you're there. My one and only criticism I have at the moment is to drill down into a transaction, you just click anywhere, right? And we're used to it bringing up that transaction that comes through. I don't know how easy it's going to be to show you on that little picture, but if I go down to this one here, you have to be really careful where you click. So any white space, it's not going to drill down. And at first I thought, oh my God, they've taken away drill down from us, and I was panicking. But actually you have to just click on like the date or the amount.
Okay.
And then it will drill down for you. So yeah, it's part and parcel of this new update. So we've got to accept it. We've got to go through with it. I just think we've got to be patient on a few of these little hiccups that come through, like the fact that I couldn't put it into date order. It was
I would have panicked about that, and I think I could have quite easily missed reclassifying if you're selecting rather than doing select all. So a few of mine, I haven't actually noticed the new format either. I've still got the old format on my clients like this. So I'll be interested to have a little play when it hits my clients.
Let's see if I can bring up a client that's not going to give me any issues. Let's have a look. Ask the accountant, see if that one's done it. As a wish list though, if we are going down this route of updating this area and making it through, is it possible? And maybe this will just happen, but by automatically now. But if I now share screen, let's see what I've got. Oh yes, I've got the new one. Excellent. Nothing there that's thingy. So yeah, so this is the new version of it. So it doesn't kind of indicate that you can you have to click on the date or the amount to get you through. But we have the new customize area here. We can column, and we can move the columns around now to get it to how you want it to be. You can sort it now much more elegantly before, but at the moment you've gone through there, you can hide the column, you can do all this sort of stuff. My big ask though, if we're going to spend time updating this, and again, hopefully this comes automatically, is that we get the ability that when we tick, that we can, and there's multiple items, that we can tick way more. So let me see if I can do it. So there's way more items in here. Find items. Okay. There we are. So that when I click there and then click there, oh, it now does it. Okay. Right. We've got what we wanted. So I don't know if anyone knows this, but if you click at the top one, hold shift and click below, it ticks everything in between. So if you've got a range of them and you want to collect them and all them, previously on the reclassify button, you never had that option. And then, but now we've got it and I can put it through from there. So absolutely loving that. I don't know what clients it's on at the moment, but if it's on yours, have a look at it, have a play around with it. Because really, really, really loving that.
Yeah, and then we have it. Because I don't have it. I've just done a little play. I want to play with it now.
On any of your clients yet?
No, I can't. Well, I've clicked on 3.
And so
including my own. I always like to think because I've got the advanced, I get it all, and I don't.
Yeah, well,
one day.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You kind of, there's always these reasons why it can't update for this one particular reason, and everything else goes back. But yeah, and then with it, there is time on today's episode of QuickBooks Lab. Amy, thank you very much for coming along. What's your favourite update we've seen today? Let's put you on the spot. What's the bit that you think is going to be the most impactful for you?
Now, for me, it's going to be the rules right at the start. The sole trader. That's what I've been waiting for. I'm going through a process of putting all my clients that don't have software onto it in advance of April, and that's what I've been waiting for. So let's have a little bit of an ETA from QuickBooks on when it's going to feed in and start working, or some guidance on it, how to use it, because I'm really keen to get my sole traders onto that for MTD.
Yeah, it needs that little bit of polish now, doesn't it? We're so happy it's there. And there was a long time where I was actually questioning, are we ever getting this back? Like, is this coming?
Holding off, come on, it's coming. But yes, it's here, just needs tweaking.
It's here, it's there, we're loving it. But yeah, it needs that little bit of love just to really get it so it's absolutely spot on.
What about you?
I was going to say rules, but I think that's cheating now because you started it before and you claimed it. Honestly, finding out that agents potentially is going to be included. Wow. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. And maybe as accountants we'll get different treatment of it. Maybe there's like an agent for the accountancy firm or something. Who knows, right? So maybe there's more to come on this story. But as it stands, if that's actually included and that agent's going to be available for us, that's impressive, and that's really, really going to be a game changer, right? Yeah, really excited for it.
I want it now.
I know.
Need some dates.
Yeah, we've got to be patient on we for this one, because like we said a lot of times with this AI stuff, if we don't get this right, it's going to be it won't get the adoption right, and people will just use it once and go, this is ridiculous, and never use it again, like some of the solutions out there that's currently live in bookkeeping solutions. Don't know who I'm aiming that at. Don't know who I'm aiming that at.
No idea.
Right, well, thank you very much, Amy. Anything you'd like to plug, go for it.
So my Being Counted Boss podcast is coming next month. We've been recording, me and James Goulsborough, talking about our practices, how we started and how we are continuing as we go on this journey of business owners. So look out for that. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, definitely not on TikTok. Sorry, guys. You can find me on here on video only.
Fair play. And potentially another podcast in the works. Wonder what that one could be. But we will release more information when we can. Keep an eye on the Ask the Accountant socials for that one, and Amy will be sharing as well. Thank you very much for coming along. Thank you for that one. Thank you for all the people putting some questions and everything in there as well. It's muchly appreciated. And we'll see you next month for another exciting episode of QuickBooks Lab. So thank you, Amy. Thank you for your time, and fingers crossed next week, because next month should potentially have the opportunity for us to play around with agents, or AI at least. So exciting times.
Thank you.
Cheerio. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.